Okay, there you go. It's recording. Anyways, it's about 6:41. I'm on the freeway. I'm kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I'm really running behind per se. Perhaps compared to the start of the week, but anyways, another one of those, recording on the fly sort of things. But I think I'm only about maybe 5-6 miles away from the exit I need to take. So. But anyways, it's day 124, Nofap. Let me see, last night, and maybe it isn't like that surprising, but I really didn't get anything done. I think I was just way too tired. It's alright. I mean, I have Friday, I have this afternoon, I have Saturday and Sunday, I have a few days, so maybe just like powering through some stuff, but I've had a lot happen over this last week. I did talk with my dad yesterday. I think it was like after I recorded that video, because he texted me back when I was telling him about the possible job opening. So he's really supportive of it. Given that it's one of those positions where if I got into that, they would train me in a lot of stuff that I really need in order to get into sort of a process engineer or automation engineer position. So, they're more concerned about like actual molecular biology techniques. I think I actually talked about that in the video, but other videos. So, but yeah, I talked with him. He seems to be doing better. This is great to hear. But what else? I think that one thing that's kind of like on my mind right now is the fact that like so much of why I've kind of told him and others like why I really want to like get certain things straightened out financially and all that is so maybe I could help them out with some stuff, which is kind of dangerous ground, I think, to a certain extent, because I don't want to end up becoming what they call like beta bucks. I don't really want to end up having that happen, and I don't want to become like encumbered, if you will, because there are other things I really want to do with my life, but at the same time, like I do feel this desire, this need to help my family, how to help those I care about, that sort of deal, with resolving different issues and such, financially and otherwise, because it's not only what they've done for me, but perhaps it's just it's a sort of innate drive as a man that you want to protect and provide. It's kind of like what we've kind of evolved to have that drive towards to do. So I don't know. I'll have to figure out exactly what that would look like, because so much of the way I look at the world and life right now is like that. I gotta take care of myself first and foremost. If I don't do that, then I can't take care of anybody else. And it's looking like the next year and a half at least is going to be a real grind, more so than it the last several months has been. Whether I get this new job and it's one of those kind of setups like the old job where it was like, okay, you can do all this overtime, make all this extra money, but longer commute and all that kind of stuff and more responsibilities, or even if it's like a 9 to 5 sort of thing. The reality is, given my financial situation, which is something that I really need to push through, because I've this is something I've reiterated like I don't know how many times, but I feel like, okay, all right, I'm not even saying like I feel, I think, or I perceive, or maybe I need to stop like using that kind of language. I gotta talk more in terms of logic and facts. But the fact is that my given all the data I've seen, whether it's literally like logging into my Credit Karma account, or looking at cost of living, or looking at the health issues I'm starting to have at my age, my mid-30s, or just looking at sort of the logistics of what I would want to accomplish in this life. I really gotta get my finances straightened out to the extent that I have enough income coming in from sources other than a job, that I can go and focus on those other things. Because if I'm not able to do that, things are going to fall apart eventually. I mean, I've seen that in my own family, their situation, but I've also just seen in my life as I've tried to build this life in recent years, that you can't go about life expecting things to just work. I mean, it's kind of like, it's almost like you think about like seasonal labor, so where you can't live all seasons every year as if it's always going to be like it is when you're making all that money. Like you have one of those seasonal jobs that pays a really nice amount of money, but you gotta sort of look at that money and go, okay, I need half of this for the other half of the year, or for whatever the case may be, whatever time, such a time, because you're just not gonna have work during that time, whatever that work might be. I mean, like with my family, it seems like they kind of all just expected that my dad would not only never get sick, never have any health problems, never be close to expiration, basically, for lack of a better way of putting it, and that he'd always have that 6-figure job, and the money would just keep rolling in, and don't worry, nothing will go to crap, basically, because dad will always be there, and that money will always be there, and the job will always be there, and et cetera, et cetera. Don't put away 15% of your paycheck every pay period. Don't don't pay off your debts. Don't not dick around with alcohol. Don't do you don't have to worry about that. Everything will just work out. It'll just work out. And it's like, it's easy to say that when you're not actually there on the front lines. I mean, it's kind of like being at it's kind of like sort of being at war in a metaphorical sense, and just expecting that your troops will just win the war. They'll just win every battle they need to win, and there's no even slight possibility of getting your entire army wiped out. It's like, no, it'll just work out. And it's like, it's easy to say that when you're not on the front lines, not in the trenches. But even if you're not in the trenches, you're like the general, or if it's like naval combat, you're the admiral or so. Like, you gotta look at the actual logistics. You gotta look at the numbers. You gotta see the fact that there are no guarantees, and you do have to put in the work and the strategy, and a lot of times you have to plan for failure, and that's kind of why, like in my case, I can't play, what do you call it? I can't see it in my car, but you can't play, I think the expression is play hooky. You can't essentially just go about things just expecting that you can, it's almost like you can't be spending your entire paycheck. You got to put some amount away, or you can't be constantly getting yourself into debt, expecting you're just gonna have a job and have the money rolling in, and that everything will just work out. You got to sort of plan for the lean times, And for me, that means, for one thing, sorting out or fixing out this money problem, such that I don't have to be spending the rest of my days fretting about money when there's all these other issues that I really need to contend with and solve and fix. Most important of all, my health. And while it may seem like I don't really have a lot of health problems, that's kind of relative. A lot of it depends upon how much sleep I get. A lot of it depends upon what I'm eating. And I'll tell you, if I end up putting on weight, which I have, obviously I ended up starting to feel it, in terms of like muscle strain and blood pressure and things of that nature, and ability to get to sleep, and the list goes on. And it's like those are the sorts of things that in the short term it might not be horrible, but you do that stuff long enough and it wears you down. I remember having tension headaches where I was like practically passing out because it was really that bad, and I had to take ibuprofen, and then eventually I had to just be like, okay, boss, I need to take a day off, like I just need, need that time to sleep, and that kind of always be the case. I may have to push through some of that, but like this next year and a half, I really have to run things like a well-oiled machine, and some of it does mean like figuring some stuff out, but I think what I really mean is I have to implement things. I actually have to do this because, for instance, like I'll have to look at how I'm actually spending my time when I get home, and I need to figure out like, okay, what is it really that's causing me to not be able to get to sleep? Because these last few nights it's been like me falling asleep at like 11:30, even midnight, getting maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep at best, somehow getting out of bed, somehow getting through the day, but like it's always like, how should I put it? It's almost like being in power saver mode, where you just can't get all that much done. You just do the bare minimum basic, sort of you go on autopilot, and in the long run, that's just not going to do me any good. So I will just sort that out. It may mean like, okay, don't drink coffee after such and such time, or changing up like how I spend like an hour unwinding. Okay, maybe it's only half an hour, maybe it's still an hour, but it has to be like in certain, on certain topics or certain ways, or so like maybe not watching stuff on politics or current events, or maybe, I don't know, reading for an hour as opposed to that, that sort of thing, whatever. But I gotta figure that out, implement it, so that I can, be in bed at a decent time, 9:30 maybe at the latest. And a bunch of other stuff. So anyways, really need to get inside, and yeah. Anyways, I'll see you folks around. Thanks for watching. It's day 124, Nofap, and end of the week, it's Friday. So happy Friday, everyone, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.